All right, hi guys, it's your girl Nancy. I am back again with another video. Now, we are going to talk about a very important topic: how to decode occupational therapy to really get to the point where we can market our services in a very easy manner. Okay, so I'm going to get right into the topic. So, the first thing that I personally have seen and have learned from almost 7 years of being a practitioner is that we have to decode occupational therapy. And I have my notes here. So if I'm looking on the side, it's because I got my notes right here. Okay. We have to decode occupational therapy and create a very simple understanding of what occupational therapy really is, depending on who we are trying to convey that message for or with. So, for example, if I am explaining occupational therapy and I'm a PEDS occupational therapist, and I am explaining what I do to a parent in a PEDS setting, is going to look a lot different from if I'm explaining what I'm doing as an OT in a skilled nursing facility to a patient with stroke. So the way that I convey what I'm doing, what my outcome is, what occupational therapy is, and what my role is in that journey of that patient's recovery is going to sound and look different. But no matter what setting that you are providing occupational therapy services in, you have to make sure that you explain occupational therapy and explain your skills in a manner that the person on the receiving end is able to walk away and completely understand what you are providing to the client, to the caregiver, to whoever it is that is receiving that service. That cannot be complicated. That has to be universal across the board. Because what I usually hear is that a lot of patients don't know what occupational therapy is. It's not that they don't know what it is. It's just that, one, yes, they may not have heard occupational therapy before if they've never received this occupational therapy services. However, a lot of people know that there is OT, but they still can't comprehend or understand the services that we provide and why it's important for that patient to receive that service. What is your services going to do for me? If I have just suffered a TBI or a stroke or whatever the diagnosis is, I really don't care if you're an occupational therapist and you have therapeutic view for self and you have, the frame of references and the models and all of these things. I really don't care as a patient. What I care about is how are your services as an occupational therapist going to help me in this situation that I'm in right now? How can you help me? And that message has to be clear. What type of services can you provide with the skills that you have as an occupational therapist? I know a lot of people focus on elevator speech, and I can go on and on about that. What I've seen happening with the elevator speech is that our focus has been on making it short, explain occupational therapy, but do it in a very short amount of time. That focus has been jaded. We need to rather focus. It's not about how short you can explain occupational therapy. It's about explaining occupational therapy in a way that the person on the receiving end is able to receive that message and completely understand what your services are, what your roles are, and how you can help that patient. The second thing that we need to do is that we need to understand who our target audiences are. For example, are my target audience OT students? Is it clinicians? Is it a caregiver? Is it a meeting, an IEP meeting? Is it in the community where I'm talking to people who may not have an educational background? You have to know who your target audience are that you are conveying occupational therapy to or with or having a conversation with. Because even though someone is a doctor, a medical doctor, or a social worker, or a nurse, or whoever, does not necessarily mean that that person understands your role as an occupational therapist or even know what it is that you really do. So always take it as an opportunity whenever you come across anyone, any discipline, whether you are a student or a clinician, take it as an opportunity to explain what you do, what your roles are, and how you can also partner with that doctor or nurse or social worker to improve the quality of life of your patient or to make a difference in that patient's life. So be very clear on who your target audience are. Now, the next step is where can we market our services? This is a skill that we have to learn. I think that we have to learn in occupational therapy schools or therapy schools, okay? We have to know what area, what sector our services as occupational therapists can thrive in. Like AI, okay, is one thing that was mentioned when I was speaking at AOTA, that our services occupational therapists can be utilized in AI industry, okay, in social media, okay. We can do focus group, we can go into the communities, we can do Zoom online workshops to communicate, starting different pro bono services in our communities in order to educate people and tell them what it is that we do and how we can help them. Okay, so we have to identify where we can market our services and how we can start having conversations around what we do and what we bring to the table. Now, who should be doing the marketing? Everyone should be doing the marketing. OT students, clinicians, AOTA, we all need to be marketing occupational therapy. And whatever space that you occupy can be an opportunity for you to partner with someone from other industries. The thing about it is, a lot of people that work in a lot of different sectors may not know what we do as occupational therapists, and because they do not know what we do, they don't know that we can actually provide a lot of unique services to them and form some partnership and collaboration that can benefit both of us. So that's why it's very important that we speak up in those different areas that we know for a fact that we can thrive, right? I've had a lot of people tell me that, yeah, they're giving all the jobs that we can do to nurses or to PTs. And I'm like, okay, but what are you doing about it? Did you send an email to the HR person and say, hey, I saw that you posted a job post on Indeed or LinkedIn, and even though you're looking for an RN or PT, here is what I can provide as an occupational therapist. Here are my skills, and this is why I think I can perform in that role. We need to be doing that. That's a form of marketing and advocating for our services and for the things that we do. If we don't speak up, people are not going to automatically understand or know what we do, okay? Another thing that I also want to add is that I think that empowering occupational therapy students and clinicians is so important. And we need to start it from when we start OT school, not when we become clinicians and we're so busy about everything that's going on. We need to really keen in on the marketing skills, how we can market our skills as occupational therapists while we are still receiving education as occupational therapy students. That's where I think it needs to start. And that is also where we need to start to empower a lot of the OTs coming up so they can have the skills of marketing, skills of entrepreneurship, thinking outside the box instead of going straight to like normal traditional settings and doing normal traditional things. They can be going to working for a big AI company, right? So we need to start that work from when we are students. There's a lot of places and a lot of sectors that we can be as occupational therapists, but we are not, because we're not doing the work and no one is going to do the work for us. We got to have those conversations. We got to send out those emails. We got to have that meeting. We got to do that footwork in order for others to know what it is that we provide. Another thing that I wanted to add, I think that having very safe spaces or focus groups, safe focus group for OT clinicians and also for OT students to talk about some of the issues that they're having, talk about the areas that they want to bridge into that, but they have no idea how to start. We need to have focus groups when we can have those conversations and we can problem solve together about how we can break into the different industries that our services and our skills are going to make a difference in. We need to start having those conversations with each other as well as with our AOTA organizations as well. Everyone needs to be invited to the table. So that is all I have. If you want me to expand on anything that I talked about today, definitely go ahead and leave the comment below and I'll absolutely do that. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.